I'm Ashton Addison from Blockwest Capital for Investment Pitch Media, and today on the Crypto Coin Show, we have Vincent Choy, the ecosystem architect of Oz Finance. Vincent, welcome to the show, and thank you for taking the time.
Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure.
You're very welcome. In this increased globalization, crypto companies are always finding the best places to locate and for their customers' sake as well. I know Oz Finance is playing a great role in helping blockchain companies do this, and I would love to hear the insights into what your team has built, and we can get an overview of Oz Finance to start, and then we'll dive into all things Oz Finance.
Sure. Thank you. Thank you so much, Ashton. So, Oz Finance is a DAO. We're transitioning to a DAO. Basically, that it consists of four main things. We have basically blockchain technology. We look at it from a set of policy, framework, laws and regulations in which we can engage government with. We are a community. And finally, we are a digital infrastructure layer. We then use this, because we're these four things, we're then able to talk to governments. We're able to talk to governments to gain access to special economic zones. For those of you who are not familiar with special economic zones are actually countries within the countries that are able to set up their own rules, their own regulations in order to bring in foreign direct investments. We offer special economic zones for main things. One is a master plan to develop investors that will come in. Our community to help market and to create growth for the special economic zone. And finally, a digital infrastructure to connect them to a digital economy. And when we do all these four things for a special economic zone, we gain access to economic rights from the real estate that is developed within the special economic zone. We get rights to any transactions that happen within the digital layer of the special economic zone. And finally, we get the right to establish a digital asset exchange in the special economic zone to provide tokenized assets in order for us to gain liquidity and connect to a digital asset market, which unfortunately is a lot smaller during this crypto winter than just a couple of months ago, but we do believe will still bounce back and become bigger in the months to come. So definitely. When we do that, because we're working in special economic zones, we then are able to offer a very concrete utility and a very concrete value to our users and community, and that is residency. We have tokenized residency to enable people to get lower tax or tax-free living, to get privacy protection, to be able to get regulatory cover, especially if you're in the digital asset and cryptocurrency business, and finally, be able to grow your wealth internationally.
Wow, great intro, Vincent. And yeah, there's a lot to unpack there. I feel like as blockchain continues to grow and governments also see opportunities for their areas to grow in their GDP and their economic zones, it's also like a constant battle of updating, where are the economic zones moving, what are the regulations of each country and how they're growing with the growth of digital assets into the mainstream. I've heard of a few economic zones in like Dubai or the Philippines, but I'm sure that there's many more. Maybe you can talk about if there are specific locations, and does it really matter with cryptocurrency companies, being in a specific location if they're really doing all of their business online?
Sure. So let's unpack that a little bit. So first of all, our first partner country is the Philippines, right? So we are working directly with the government. In this case, we are working with the Freeport area of Bataan, which is a free trade zone in the Philippines. And that enables us to tokenize the residency and enable our TOTOS to basically offer tokenized residency. So we work directly with the government, right? You're right. There are many eco zones around the world. In fact, there are 5,400 eco zones around the world, wow. Most of which are actually unknown. Governments set up these special economic zones, but they lack the community and to help market them, to help actually attract investors and to attract residents to come in and grow these zones. And so what we do provide is the template to work with the governments to do that. Right. And in exchange, we ask for tax-free living, for our users, our community. We ask for privacy protection to protect the rights of the people who are living and working and investing in these cities. And finally, we ask for sorry. Tax-free living, privacy protection, and regulatory certainty, regulatory cover. It is not so much so that we want things to be unregulated. We actually want things to be regulated, but we want things to be certain. The key problem with the regulatory aspects of the crypto world right now is that there's so much uncertainty. Today, this is allowed. Tomorrow, that is not allowed. Today, this is taxed. Tomorrow, that is not taxed. So uncertainty is what is actually killing business. It's not really the lack of regulations. So this commonsensical, certain regulations is what we want to put across.
Great explanation there, Vincent. And I feel like the privacy protection, regulatory certainty are all good things. I've heard of cryptocurrency exchanges moving to specific zones to benefit their users and their operations. With blockchain companies that you're working with and that you're looking to work with, are you seeing a specific trend? Whether it's like a blockchain protocol itself, cryptocurrency exchange, DeFi protocols, or any project that's looking to do like a token sale?
Yes. Unfortunately, as the current trend in regulation is that it's just going to get tougher and tougher to be in the crypto world, especially when you're talking about established countries or places which has made crypto illegal or banned. A very good example is China, right? They've just taken a blanket ban to everything that is crypto right now. Yeah. We see the importance of special economic zones being able to create sandbox environments where governments can actually see how it's working or create a different regime in which to encourage the growth of this zone to then decide whether or not this is good or bad for the country. Without this sandbox environment, without this ability to create a observational platform, so to speak, banning it is premature. We feel that it's premature. The technology is actually very, very useful and has the ability to bring a lot of cost savings. It'll be able to reach out to the unbanked, the underserved, but to ban it prematurely, I think is just overkill. So yes, a lot of companies, a lot of crypto companies are moving to special economic zones. They're moving to friendlier regimes, including Dubai. Our special economic zone has already, under the implementing rules and regulations of the Freeport area of Bataan, has really pre-approved 64 different types of crypto and digital asset activities. So we welcome all crypto companies, exchanges who are looking for a base of operation to come and invest in the special economic zone in the Philippines.
Very cool, Vincent. And you spoke about the Oz Living and the Residency program. I'm curious if that is mandatory, for a resident to move into the special economic zone or have to be there for a specific amount of time in order to have their company set up there.
No. So the simple answer is no. It's a digital residency program, which means that you have the right to live and work anywhere in the Philippines, not the zone, anywhere in the Philippines for 5 years, but you do not have to live there. You only have to go to the Philippines once to take your biometrics and to get your stamp onto your passport. Once your KYC and AML is approved, and once that is done, you don't have to live there if you don't want to, but it's a very nice place. There's 7,200 islands, beautiful beaches, beautiful hills, great landscape, and a very friendly population. It's a good place to come.
Definitely, Vincent, and I agree. I have spoken at a blockchain conference in Manila in the Philippines, and it is a beautiful country. So I agree with you there. And you mentioned at the very beginning about how Oz Finance is becoming a DAO and Oz DAO, And I feel like this is the trend towards further decentralization and democratization of all companies, creating a DAO format. Can you talk about the implications and the roadmap for Oz DAO?
Okay, so the Oz DAO is really our vision. So we do believe that the power or the democratization of resources should be put to our community. However, we are also in recognition of the fact that we are working directly with governments, with government organizations, which would require us to centralize certain parts of decision making, at least in the near term. We see ourselves as building up a template for the first 3, 4, even 5 countries to be able to sign up to in terms of what Oz wants to do with every one of these eco zones. And once this template is more or less fixed, it becomes a system. It becomes a system where all the community can contribute to making it more robust. We will then hand that system over to the community. The community then gets to vote on projects, get to vote on which eco zones to expand into, get to vote on what to invest in each eco zone. And this is something that no other DAO is able to do right now, is to be able to experiment on governance through a DAO that directly impacts the living conditions and the living environment, right, of the people that participate in the DAO. And that's why we're residents. Residents are actually residents in a physical place. What gets built in a physical place? How does the Oz governance tokens allow you to vote or allow you to influence, right, the physical living environment? The Oz project is really about building a project that impacts the real world lives of the crypto community, of the people who participate in this community. And we envision that, or we want to embody that through the DAO, being able to allow them to make the decisions of how to operate and how to live.
Well said, Vincent. And now, besides moving into the DAO format and getting more clients and blockchain projects onboarded, do you have any other plans in the roadmap for throughout this year for Oz?
Throughout this year, so we hope to be able to bring in at least 2 to 3 countries into the Oz ecosystem by the end of this year. Right, we intend to launch our technology part of our project in terms of building up the digital infrastructure layer for the Freeport area Bataan. We want to start, at least in this year, a little bit on phase 4 of our operations, which is really about the people development. We want to help to upskill the labor force that's currently living in the Freeport area of Bataan. We'll provide jobs. So within the next couple of months, within this year, we do hope to tie up some elements of our Oz and expand to at least 2 to 3 countries.
Very cool. And for projects and crypto companies that are starting up or already existing that are interested in learning more about the special economic zones and about what Oz can do and how they can work with you, what is the best way for people to find out more?
Please reach out to us. I mean, you can come to our website, oz.finance. Our contact details is here, or please do reach out to me directly on our Telegram group, oz.finance again. We're more than happy to answer any questions. We're more than happy to help you, through any difficulties you might have, or if you want to know more about specific countries and how the rules and regulations in the Philippines will affect you living in another country or setting up a business there. We're more than happy to help.
Amazing. Thank you so much, Vincent. I will leave those links as well in the description box below for the viewers. All the best with everything in these special economic zones and the growth of Oz DAO. And let's follow up in the near future.
Thank you, Ashton. Thank you for having me. Thank you.